Maggie grunted. She's ready too.
She's ready. Okay. We have to go live.
Let's do it.
Maybe it's source. I did.
Voila.
Oh. I didn't tell everybody what it's supposed to be about. So I better tell everybody that it's happy hour.
Yay!
Okay. Description required.
Why does mine say 90?
We talk and you get to talk to. Okay. Next week, I will know to do that first. And now, okay, go live. Go live.
Going live.
Going live. Welcome to Life. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. Live with a studio audience. Fun. Welcome to Happy Hour, where every Wednesday you can come be part of the podcast and hang out in the chat room with us, or you can hit the call button and jump on and hit that call button. You will be visible on the camera, just so you know. But here, if you're here because there's something you want to chat about or something you heard on a previous episode or something comes up in this podcast, you want to jump in, do it.
Yeah, and if you get shy and you don't want to be on screen, feel free to use the chat and write us there. And I know last time some people were writing on Facebook. How are we handling that? Should I have Facebook open? Do you have Facebook open?
I do. Multitask. And
well, what if we just pause every once in a while and just double check? We can do it all together. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm asking us.
Encouraging of you. Okay. Yeah,
I really believe in this teamwork thing.
I mean, it's the best. And I don't even know that I could see if somebody were commenting too. I don't know. I'm in the live data. Maybe you have to go into like our page and see if you see anything. Maybe I that off on you, if you don't mind. Is that cool?
Okay. I'm here for it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. Working it out. Figure.
Okay. Yeah. Hi,
Kimmy. I mean, hi. If that isn't the metaphor for midlife, working it out, figuring it out as we go. Mm-hmm. Right? Here we are. So I feel like it's been a long time, which it kind of has, because you came to visit Los Angeles. So we took a few days off of podcasting. So of course, then I have this.
It feels weird, right?
And I'll have a list of things I want to talk about.
Oh, so. Good. I love that.
So let's see. Let's start with something. I was laughing so hard about the sticker that you brought me, which remembered this is now a visual medium as well. I would have ready. Top that sticker that said, "I'm fucking delightful," and it's hilarious, right? But then I started thinking about it, and I wanted to ask you, what did it mean, that sticker? Because I had all sorts of crazy thoughts about it.
Oh, you did? That's so funny. I'm still trying to get on the midlife, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Right. It made me laugh. It felt strong, and it felt like no apologies, and it felt like something that I could hear out of your mouth when
totally
just in confidence and in lighthearted confidence of like, yeah, not to worry, I am fucking delightful. Like, I don't need to be anything else, and I don't have to cookie code it, and I don't have to show up any other way. To me, it just felt.
Is it cookie coding like a candy coating?
Candy coating it?
Delicious.
Yeah, I'm known for saying terrible things like that. My brother's always kept like a book of the quotes that I've misquoted. It's like one of his favorite things. I'm known for it, so get used to it, everybody.
Cookie code it. I'm not gonna
candy coat it. Yeah, well, I'm tired. Look at my eyeballs. I've been traveling.
I know. Well, I'm tired too, and I blame you.
Yeah, and you are welcome, I say. So fun when you go to visit, but I haven't seen a lot of people. I only
Yeah.
saw a very few people because we were there really quickly, but when you have limited time, you want to spend every minute. So there I was, not going up to bed at my normal hour and, not eating and drinking the normal things. And so
Yeah,
the
we're both
impact
paying.
is for real.
We are paying for it. So I got to tell you, so that I
Mhm.
started doing this like in my head so hard, and I love it because
Yeah,
that is
what
something
it
I'd say I'm fucking delightful, right? Because I'd be sarcastic.
mhm.
And then I started thinking about like that there are people, and I've had like a really good friend, somebody who's I'm close to now, say, I was so afraid of you. And I'm like, why would you be afraid of me? That's ridiculous. And I realized like there is a certain armor that I wear of sarcasm and maybe comes off as, and so then it made me start thinking about that, about like actually there's this really soft mushy heart a lot of people don't get to know. And then I started feeling bad about that my armor can be so abrasive. Isn't that funny?
Mm. You're cookie coated.
I am cookie coated.
You have a cookie coating. I mean,
Okay, but
I think we
I'm razor blade coated. Anyway,
oh, I mean, again, that would be someone else's perspective
totally. I
because
know.
obviously I saw it and someone else made the sticker, so there's other people that feel the exact same way, and so to me, when I saw it, it was like it made me giggle and it made me think of your strength, and so
I like that. So it wasn't
y
hardness, it was
of
strength.
it was
Yeah.
strength and it was groundedness in who you are, and it doesn't have yes, you can be cookie coated. Since I'm going with it now.
Yes.
Excuse me. I think we all have our own defensive mechanisms and our own kind of coatings and they come up in all different ways. And so how someone else sees it, I mean, I think not being razor bladey, I think being grounded and feeling confident in who you are can be really intimidating to people and scary. And
Maybe.
I think people read it and also being shy can be really scary
Mm,
and feel like off-putting. And, there's so many versions of how people see things and what the
yeah.
truth is underneath them. And I think as you get older, and maybe you experience them from your own side, you have more bandwidth for people to be human on their side too, right? It's like, okay, well, what's underneath the coding? Why is it that? Can I lean into it and be like, do you not like me, or am I not your flavor of human, or is it just that you're shy, or like, what's up? What's here?
Anyway, I do love the sticker and it is hilarious. It's so me. And I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden it sort of backtracked on me. I just
Hmm. Yeah. Well, moment of reflection is always good. Sorry I brought up something, but maybe
No,
it
I think
brought
it was
out
a good
something that you
thing.
can
It
be
was
more powerful
fun.
in.
Yeah, no. And I
Mm.
love your perspective. I am fucking delightful.
You know what? It's funny. There were a couple other ones that, were snarky and funny. And I actually took pause on them because I thought, oh, they're so funny. And then I reread them and I was like, you know what? That one's not true. And that one I don't even like. Like
Mm.
I don't like what it says. It was funny and snarky, but I wouldn't want to give that to you, or I wouldn't want to put it on, water bottle and claim it. And
Right.
so that one, what I really did think about it because there were some that felt like, ooh, and someone else might think they're hilarious and think they're true to them.
Right. Yeah. So interesting. Anyway, that was one thing on my mind.
So interesting. Yeah.
Another thing that was on my mind, which I just thought maybe would ease into the happy hour, or something that wouldn't be triggering, like exercise and weight gain. So
That
that's a
sounds not
joke.
triggering. And what do you mean by exercise and weight gain? Like from exercising?
No, no. So it's come up in all sorts of different ways over the last like week or so. Um, One is I do not feel like exercising right now at all. I'm
Mm,
exhausted, and this morning, instead of feeling badly about that, I was like, I don't want to and I don't have to. And I felt good about it. And then
Mhm.
this was also in light of somebody had a podcast episode that was like trying to say that the word exercise was like a societal and cultural phenomenon and that we've bought into, which felt like really bullshitty to me. So I was kind of laughing about that
Mm.
for many days
Like
because
turning exercise into like
like you're
shaming?
just
Like it's a shaming thing instead
well,
of
like you're
that
buying into
it
the
needs to move your
patriarchy.
body?
Buying the
Mm.
patriarchy if you're exercising because it's to
Oh
give you a
boy.
better body. Like it was really effective, like kind of cuckoo. Like and it just like I was always like why we exercise and if there are some of those motivations are pressure rather than inside desire.
Mm. For
So like I said,
sure.
not triggering for anybody, but
No, no, very simple, easy subject here. Welcome. Yeah. I
oh,
mean,
and
how can there not be? I mean, I
right,
think that's about doing something for others and for other
appearance,
people's ideas and
right,
appearance and what you think they will think of you and what, how it looks outside of you, right? And the difference is you can look at exercise from within, right?
right.
What does it feel like to you? What do you like? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? Like I get to choose. Today I'm tired. I'm not going to because I'm gonna
I'm
let
not
my
gonna feel
body
bad about it.
repair. Yeah, I'm gonna repair because when I feel good, then I might feel like doing something, and just the listening in and yeah, just those stories from
Yeah,
outside and the pressure from outside and all the ways it shows up. But yeah, if you're doing exercise because it's going to make you feel or make you like yourself more or like you think you're going to be more accepted or you're going to like that slippery slope, right?
yeah, right. So then I take a web in here right now. Then I was like, well, what if you exercise because you want to look out loud? Is that not somebody telling you actually not because you want to look good? It's because you've been conditioned to believe that.
Mm,
I mean, it's like we are getting ourselves so crazy over words that it's kind of pissing me off. And
mm, I get that.
right?
Yeah, the
It's
energy.
like
Yes.
overkill on everything.
Yes, we're really nitpicking to find
Uh,
something else. Yeah, there's a
pulling
lot of
everything
nitpicking.
apart.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah. That is I mean, that gives me a headache just to think about.
yes,
Right?
totally.
Like, I mean,
Why do I
can
have
it
to
be
overthink it?
okay?
Can't it just be because I want to or I want to? Today I didn't want to
Right?
because
Good for you.
we emptied the bottle of bourbon on Monday, I think.
We might have.
The worst part about
I
that,
yeah.
go ahead. I was just saying the worst part.
I was gonna blame. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look at us. The worst part is, go ahead.
I didn't wash the crystal glasses until the next day, and somebody, which is either your husband or my husband, left a little bit of tequila in the glass. So when I poured it
Oh.
out over the warm water, the rush of smell like came up and over me. I was like, "Oh fuck!" Did that.
Ooh, such an unfriendly reminder.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. No, I was gonna blame. So we did a photo shoot while I was there, and the word we picked because we had to pick through a couple of words that the wonderful, amazing photographer uh, gave us, and we picked whiskey, which made us giggle the whole
Every
time. But we
time.
said it for hours, so of
Right.
course by the end we're like, "Let's have a whiskey," and that was really
Bad
fun in the
choice.
moment. A terrible choice for and once you moved on from that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Hilarious.
you had to get home. I had to get her to school. And, we
Yeah.
just don't really used to at all.
Mm-mm.
And I wouldn't
We
even say
don't.
it. It just like,
We
right? I mean, it
didn't.
was,
I think there was also a lot of, I mean, for me, I'd had days of not being
yeah.
home and sleep, not really sleeping, and so it definitely hit hard. Um, but yeah, it's your body, my body at least, has changed how it recovers and how different foods and alcohol and everything affect it.
Yeah. That's the other thing. So reading on like Facebook groups and stuff, again with the exercise, but also women complaining about how their bodies is. And so even though they exercise, they feel like they're taking care of themselves, that like the weight might potentially be unavoidable. And I mean, just like reading PR, I really
Yes.
don't.
Well, I already feel it.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my body got affected from stress and and menopause, and that, not having the right balance of hormones for sure. I put on a ton of weight, which, does all sorts of fun things for you when you don't feel like getting out of bed. You're already down and low on energy and whatnot. So it has been a struggle, and I do listen in with what's going on for a lot of women, and I know that some don't have the issue and some
Yeah.
do, and it's really challenging because it feels out of control because you may be doing the exact same thing. You may not realize that you're not because you're depressed, and so you may
Yeah.
be, kind of feeling defeated. So you may be eating more or not exercising as much because you don't feel good and you don't feel like it, and so it adds up. But I think it's kind of a long haul to really, kind of have to look and really have to eat clean and have to move your body. And by have to, I mean in
If you
order
want to.
to jumpstart. Yeah, exactly. If you want to, and if you don't. And I think also, yeah, we shift, our bodies shift, and trying to fit into something that we were 10 years ago may just not be who we are anymore. And can we still feel sexy and
Mm,
viable and beautiful just as is? And do we have to keep punishing ourselves because we can't fit into the clothes from, you know, 2 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever it is?
yeah.
It's
So
kind of
then
a
I
lot going
saw
on.
then I saw this post from Jane Fonda, who's well into her 80s, who's always been a proponent of exercise, but in my opinion and my recollection, not of weight loss, like of exercise. On her stationary bike, like pedaling away, and her message was all about movement. And I thought, it was such a positive and amazing. Of course, she looks incredible, and she just has that frame, and she's
I mean, you know that she was like bulimic and anorexic and
I don't
had,
know that.
all through those years of
Oh,
wearing that
really?
cute little stripy. Yeah, she was having a lot of trouble. And what she
Oh,
is
bummer.
speaking about right now is just learning how to embody her body, to be
Yeah,
inside and not be unfamiliar, and not, she had no experience of truly being grounded and feeling into her body and feeling comfortable there. And she's just learning how to do that right now. I mean, I think she's the message and what she's the soul searching and the development that she's doing right now with herself is incredible. And
right.
it's also incredible to see that in your 80s, you could just be stepping into that piece. Her evolution is pretty amazing towards the last
Yeah.
couple, I don't know, 20 years or something, but she's sharing it right now. And I think it's so powerful.
Well, this particular post was just how the movement made her able to do the things that she wanted to do now, and I just thought that was so incredible. Kind of sworn off men, her boyfriend, and she's like done and whatever, whatever her choice. But I just thought
I think
it
it's
was such
part
a
of
good,
her.
yeah.
It's a
But
reframe, right? On what you were saying, exercise. Like, can exercise just be moving so that you can still move and you can still,
yeah,
play with the grandkids and your friends and feel good, and you know, and I think we all know when we stop moving, things don't feel as good.
right,
And it's not to say you have to run a marathon. It's just stretching, even just stretching
yes.
makes a
Well, and
huge difference.
I think the word reframing is so important. What you have to buy as exercise doesn't mean, like you said, you have to go run a marathon. Like it can't just be taking a walk. People say you need to, you should meditate. That's really going to help you out. Okay, maybe your meditation, point out before, can just be sitting. It can be anything. So not having to
Yeah,
fit
it's just
into
taking
that
quiet time.
definition. for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were the
Yeah.
things on my mind today. What's on your
Okay.
mind today?
Hmm. What's on my mind today? Um, there were a lot of things on my mind today because I did just travel and so I had a whole bunch of things because I moved away from this place that I called home forever and this house that I redid with like every ounce of it is me and and I was really interested in what it was going to feel like. And it's so interesting when you're really when you choose from the place within you and in your heart on something. I'm experiencing like when you're done with something, you get to move on. And I had no feelings, no angst, no I had no connection really to the things that were old, um, attachment wise for me. I mean, I had a ton of connection to the people and the people I love and it still felt like a familiar place and comfortable, but it didn't feel like home. And it was such an interesting experience because I would expect it to have felt differently. And it was just neutral. It was just like nice for what it is, but it didn't feel uh like I was missing out or that I was, homesick or, any of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It was just interesting. And I don't know. I was talking to a girlfriend when I got home. She's like, she's had that many times in her life. And I haven't, where you just move on and it feels
Mm,
clean. It feels
yeah.
like you're done with that space. And I thought it's really interesting.
Did it help
Uh,
that you made the right decision? I mean, I hate that idea of right or wrong decision, good or bad decision, but like, did it help bolster
And
the decision you made, maybe? I don't know.
what's so weird is I don't feel like I need any comment. Like
Mm,
I've also never experienced moving somewhere, even into a house. I mean, I've moved, apartments and houses, and I always felt like it was someone else's, and it took a while to feel like it was mine. Like I always joke that like mom and dad were going to come home, or the people that own the house were going to come back, and we should get out of here. And it took a while for me to feel like it was my space, and I didn't have that at all here.
mm,
I also, built the house. So it is from, from my choosing. So it's just a fascinating feeling. So I don't feel like I equally felt weird in my new space, not even just the house though, like in my area and just felt comfortable and I felt like it was home right away, which is sort of a weird mind game because I'm like, but it wasn't. It just but it felt comfortable and it felt like a fit. And so I didn't need confirmation at all. It more felt like what was I gonna feel like about the old space? Was I gonna
mm.
have any pangs or, ever could say like, "What, don't you wanna eat at your favorite restaurant?" I'm like, "No, I have new favorite restaurants." Like, I was like, "I don't really." I mean, I ate sushi and that was fun because I mean, we have good sushi here too, but you're used to your old haunts.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything like, "Oh god, I'll die without it." But I have fun. But I had super fun. And, I think the
Back.
people yeah, and the people are, I would have needed a year to see everyone. So I'll have to keep going back and seeing other people.
Okay. Sounds
And that
good.
was the fun. Or they'll just have to come visit.
Yes. Well, I think, maybe the message is like, don't fear, right? You might surprise
Yes.
yourself how comfortable it can be.
I know, for sure. Yeah, there's something about that allowing yourself to pick new in
Mm,
anything.
right.
And not getting stuck. And
Right.
it does feel daring. It feels like something that need your courage for. And at first it's super scary. I mean, even the idea at first I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I'm not leaving here ever. Like,
Yeah.
that was my initial. And I think there's something really special and evolving about making those new choices and those leaps and allowing yourself to be courageous enough, even if it isn't a fit.
Hmm.
I totally said like, we'll move. Maybe it'll be the first move.
You're
Who
right.
knows? I don't know if it's a fit. I wasn't. I wasn't at all like, this is gonna be amazing. I was like, let's do it. Let's try it.
Love that.
uh,
I love the feeling
so
also missing out by leaving. Like it serves us. That's like a full up experience and it doesn't detract or disappear. Like it is what it is. It was what it was. And now you've moved on and it's another chapter, another, you've like opened yourself up to more experiences. Yeah.
yeah. I think the same even with us starting a new business where, like that was a big leap
Yeah.
and a leap of faith. And a lot of people are like, why would you do that? You have a really big business, like you have a successful business and you're amazing at what you do. And I was like, yeah, that's really nice. And I'm ready to grow. And I believe there's more for me and, for us um and allowing myself to believe that
Hmm.
takes courage, but it's also such an amazing experience. And I figure, just like we said, like life is short. What do you want to do with it? Like what feels
Absolutely.
good? What feels juicy?
Yes. Yeah. Life can be short. We have lots of time to
Yes,
make
we
new
hope
choices.
not.
We hope not. Uh,
What about you? Have you ever made those choices? I mean, I know you've moved and
yeah, we moved,
like
but
how
then we
was
moved back. So, no, I mean, there's definitely, I don't know. Well, I don't try to predict, but I do feel like there will be a window for some sort of massive shift in the next few years. I mean, the thing so funny I was just gonna make is gonna make you laugh your ass off.
Oh, good.
The excuse I was gonna make is like, well, we have Tyler, so that limits like the decisions that we them. And that's
Mm,
hilarious
it's his fault.
because no, not his fault. That's hilarious because you also have a child of the same age and you made those choices for yourself. So interesting that I mean, I'm just observing that statement and why
Mm,
for me, it's like uh wow, it's like it's guilt in that there's grandparents and those relationships and also there's a certain recipe that our children had, like what schools they went to and the things that they did. And he's excited to follow that path. Not to say that there couldn't be a better, more exciting one for him somewhere else. But yeah, all those decisions feel very like safe. I don't know. So
mm.
interesting.
Yeah, and there's something good to that. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that either, like, knowing the path and it feels right to you and feels good for your family, and also it's what your son wants.
Yes.
It's like you've taken that in. I mean, there's no reason to not take that in. I mean, listen, if I always laugh about it because then there's that moment of like, and if someone offered you a huge job and they said you had to move to blah 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 and your whole family had to go, like it's so funny how some of those things make us go, oh yeah, we would do it.
Right.
Right, right. And it's like it's interesting to play those games with ourselves, like, oh okay, so it's in there
Yeah.
for the right reason, but it doesn't feel like the right reason right now. And
Right.
so that's valid. I think it's
Right.
fair to kind of take yourself through those games of like, but would we or would we not?
Yeah. No, it is. That is all interesting. I most right now is just like variety of experience and surrounding.
Mm,
And so, but I think we are doing a lot of those things. So for us right now, for me right now, it doesn't have to be like a wholesale move somewhere, although I love that idea. Um, but like we're taking a big trip adventure with all of the kids. And, I built this new be ready maybe this weekend to move into. And, so I think little
yeah.
baby steps of like changing environment without feeling like it needs to be a move, but also I really cannot see us living here forever. I just can't.
Yeah, but
It
how
doesn't
cool
feel
to allow
safe.
and
Yeah.
I think that's a yeah. I love that piece though that you're allowing yourself to feel what feels juicy. And say that like what feels like it fills
Yeah.
you up and it gives you a little more energy. And so and it doesn't have to be massive. It could be like, okay, how can I do that from right here? How do I
Right.
add that to my life? what feels good? Oh, well, I want to travel, or I want to do this, or like, what are the things on the list that I may not stop to ask myself, like, what feels really good for me and my family, or whatever, my business, or, what do I want to, how do I want to stretch myself? What feels good? I mean, I think that we can share that our meetings, our strategy meetings, when we're really just sitting and talking about stuff and seeing like what's our motivation for doing it? Are we having fun?
Yeah.
Is it the way we want to live our lives? And I have to say, those are my favorite part of the week, because to stop and reflect with someone that you feel safe with, and whether that's your partner, and like we keep saying, like, this is important to do everywhere, to stop once a week or stop once a month and just sit down and really ask those hard questions, like, how are things, and are we doing what we want to do, are we just doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
and does it feel good, and what else do we want, and you know how do we make that happen, and let's, they don't have to be huge changes, like it just be in leaning into those feelings that you want. I think that's fun, and I think it does take planning, and does take talking, and it does take being honest and vulnerable about the things that, there's times where we're like so sure about something we've decided. And then 2 weeks later, we're like, well, are we sure about that? It's about being willing to pivot and say, yeah, it seemed like a great idea, but right now it doesn't seem like a great idea. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel right anymore. I think that's cool. And I think that's something that we could do in friendships and relationships and businesses and everything.
Well, I think what's interesting about it, I think a lot of paralysis people, and by people I mean me, comes from thinking you have to have like a big idea, a wholesale change, a big dream. But I was just talking to a friend about this morning that is things out, and somebody gave her a book, which I've read, called Design Your Life, and like gave her the workbook. And I was like, yeah, how else? She's like, I don't know what to put in it. I was like, yeah, neither did I, would I. Overwhelming, that idea, like you have to have it planned it all out. And I kind of laughed. I go, how about you just design your day? Like, what do you want to, what feels good today? What's fun today? And we were kind of laughing because what felt good to have a second coffee, which I'm totally regretting at this point as I shake through our, and to call a friend while I unloaded the dishwasher instead of exercising. And so, what about those little like mini decisions? Like, huge. It doesn't have to be a big something that you're working towards. Like, you can just make the decision for the present moment to have a good time right now.
Yes. Or whatever feels good to you. Add one thing this week, right? I think
Yeah.
those mini decisions and actually following through on them
Yes.
really start to add up. And I think the big things come from lots of little things, and having the experience of, I can. I
Yeah.
I've I've chosen to add, I've switched gears. I've shown myself, and I've had the experience that, and I'm talking about like going to the movies when the kids are at school, or taking a day off of work or whatever, like just letting yourself go, I want to do this and I'm going to make it happen. And
Right
even if
now.
it's just a little thing, or paint a wall
Yeah.
in my room, or, whatever it is, like something that I've always wanted to do, and just actually doing the little things, it does really start to build our confidence. And all of a sudden there's a space in your backyard that, becomes an office. Don't you
Yeah.
think those things like add up, like the little things, it's like, oh, I can paint this and I can do that, and then it's like, wait a
Yeah. No,
minute,
you
now I have a
prove to
bigger dream.
yourself. Yeah. You
And
prove
you
to
start
yourself.
having bigger
Yeah.
dreams, and you start practicing
For
dreaming, you start
sure.
practicing believing in different and more, and you know being
Yeah.
able to choose, I think.
Definitely. And I don't know in the audience if there's like something you want to throw in the chat if that resonates with you, or come on as we
Or something totally different that's on your
totally
mind, go
different
for it.
as we wind down our happy hour for the day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think it's just that the little can be just as powerful as big. And I think your point is that the little is practice and turns into big before you know it. And then you have to reel
Great.
yourself back in because I am painting the door to the office this bright yellow because apparently yellow is my color of the year because of the clock that you sent me for Christmas, which is hilarious.
I love it.
And then I started thinking, well, maybe I should paint the front door of the house yellow. And I was like, I don't have like it could just be the one. It's all right.
And you could just do the one and see how it feels.
I'm very
Then
excited about
maybe
it.
more yellow will happen. You don't have to do it all.
Do you know
Yeah,
what's
I think
so
it's
funny is that as you saw, I have those beautiful fire lemon trees in the backyard, and I was like,
mm-hmm.
that's the color that the door has to be because it's like in your line of sight to the shed to the little office. So I
Uh-huh.
took the lemon to the paint store for $1 million. What is the name of the color that I matched to my lemon?
Meyer lemon.
Just lemon. It like literally like the universe is like, you want something the color of a lemon? Okay, here's lemon.
I love it.
So that's so fun.
You knew. It's
And I
so
was,
fun. I can't wait to see it done.
yeah, I was a little bit torn between two shades. I was like, wait, this is actually called lemon. Really? Do we need to make this a tough decision?
Do I need more guidance than this?
I think so. I think so.
So great. Too great.
All right. Well, I feel happy after happy hour. Do you feel happy?
I always feel happy after hanging out with my friends and chatting,
So good.
especially you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, I just
All
want to
right.
encourage anybody that listens to the podcast to know that you are welcome on the happy hour in the
Yeah,
chat to come on with us. Either way.
we'd love to meet you. We'd love to hear what you have to say. So write it in or come on.
All right. And
Hope
we'll
to
see
meet
you
you
next
soon.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody wants to dare themselves to come on with us, do it. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right.